Don't forget to subscribe for upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. It was a busy Friday evening at the local grocery store. Carts were packed, checkout lines were long, and everyone looked exhausted. Among them stood Emily, a 28-year-old nurse who had just finished a 12-hour shift. Her scrubs were wrinkled, her feet ached, and all she wanted was to get home, eat something simple, and sleep. She waited patiently in line, scrolling through her phone absent-mindedly. That's when she noticed the woman behind her. The woman looked no older than 30, but exhaustion had carved deep shadows under her eyes. She was holding a crying toddler in one arm while trying to balance a basket with the other. A little girl, maybe 5 years old, clung to her coat. The toddler's cries were getting louder, and people in line began to sigh in annoyance. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry," the woman whispered repeatedly, rocking her baby. Her voice trembled with embarrassment. Emily turned around fully. "Hey," she said gently. "Why don't you go ahead of me?" The woman blinked in surprise. "Oh no, I couldn't." "It's okay," Emily insisted with a warm smile. "You've got your hands full." The little girl looked up at Emily with wide eyes. "Mommy, can we really go first?" The mother hesitated, clearly overwhelmed. "Thank you. Thank you so much," she whispered, stepping ahead in line. Some people behind them rolled their eyes, but Emily didn't care. She simply shrugged and waited. At the checkout counter, the single mom nervously placed her items on the belt: milk, bread, diapers, baby formula, and a small chocolate bar. The toddler had stopped crying, now resting against her shoulder. The cashier scanned everything. "That'll be $67.43. The woman froze. Her face drained of color as she opened her worn wallet. She counted crumpled bills and a handful of coins. Her hands began to shake. I'm short," she whispered. "I thought I had enough." A heavy silence fell over the checkout lane. People shifted uncomfortably. The little girl looked up at her mom. "Mommy." Tears filled the woman's eyes. "I'm sorry, sweetie. We might have to put some things back." Emily felt her heart tighten. Without hesitation, she stepped forward. "Don't put anything back," she said softly. And before anyone could react, she pulled out her card. That simple decision would change far more than she ever expected. The cashier looked at Emily. "Are you sure?" Emily nodded. "Yes. Please. I've got it." The single mom turned quickly. No, I can't let you do that." "It's okay," Emily said gently. "Everyone needs help sometimes." The woman's composure finally broke. Tears streamed down her face as she covered her mouth. "You don't understand," she whispered. "I just lost my job 2 weeks ago. My husband passed away last year. I've been trying to hold everything together for my kids." The store grew quiet. Even the customers who had seemed annoyed earlier were now watching silently. "My son needs that formula," she continued, voice cracking. "I skipped meals this week to make sure they could eat. I thought I calculated everything right." The little girl tugged at her mom's sleeve. "Mommy, don't cry." Emily felt her own eyes sting. She remembered her own childhood, her mother struggling, pretending everything was okay when it wasn't. The payment machine beeped as Emily completed the transaction. "It's done," she said softly. The single mom collapsed into a hug she didn't plan. "Why would you do this for me?" Emily hesitated. "Because once, someone did it for my mom, and she never forgot it." The cashier wiped her eyes discreetly. But the moment wasn't over. An older man from 2 lines back stepped forward. He said to the single mom. "I own a small accounting firm. We are looking for an assistant. If you're interested, here's my card." A woman behind him added, "I run a daycare. If you need help while you work, bring your kids. No charge for the first month." Murmurs of agreement spread. Kindness, once started, was multiplying. The single mom stood frozen, overwhelmed. I don't know what to say." Emily smiled gently. "Say yes." And that's when something unexpected happened. The little girl walked up to Emily, holding the small chocolate bar. "This was for me," she said quietly, "but I want you to have it." The entire checkout lane fell silent again, because sometimes gratitude speaks louder than words. Emily knelt down. Sweetheart, that's yours. The little girl shook her head. Mommy says we share blessings. The toddler giggled in his mother's arms, unaware of the emotional storm around him. The older man cleared his throat. Actually, he said loudly enough for others to hear, I think we can do more. He turned to the cashier. How much does she usually spend in a month on groceries? The cashier hesitated but quietly estimated. The man pulled out his wallet, put $500 on a gift card for her. Gasps filled the air. Another customer stepped forward. Make that $700. Within minutes, strangers were contributing. Small bills, large bills, it didn't matter. The cashier's eyes were red from crying as she loaded the total onto a store gift card. The manager, who had been watching from afar, approached. We'd like to match that amount, he announced. The single mom was shaking now, not from stress, but from disbelief. I don't even know you people, she whispered. That's the point, Emily said softly. What started as one person letting someone cut in line had turned into a wave of compassion no one expected. The manager handed over the final card. This should cover groceries for several months. The mother sobbed openly now. I promise I'll pay this forward someday. Emily gently squeezed her hand. You will. Just focus on your kids. As the single mom walked out of the store, nearly everyone in the checkout area clapped softly. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just a quiet acknowledgement that something rare had happened. Emily picked up her own groceries, suddenly feeling lighter than she had in weeks. She thought the story ended there. But she was wrong. Because 3 months later, she would walk into that same store and see something that would bring her to tears. 3 months passed. Life returned to normal, or so Emily thought. One evening, after another long hospital shift, she stopped at the same grocery store. As she joined the checkout line, she noticed something familiar. The same little girl. But this time, she wasn't clinging nervously to her mother. She was laughing. Her mom stood beside her, wearing a neat blouse and an employee badge from an accounting firm. She looked healthier, stronger. When their eyes met, recognition flashed instantly. It's you, the single mom breathed. Before Emily could respond, the woman rushed forward and hugged her tightly. I got the job, she said through happy tears. The daycare helped. The groceries carried us through. We are okay now. Because of you. Emily shook her head. Not because of me. Because of everyone. The little girl tugged Emily's sleeve again. We are doing something, she announced proudly. The mother smiled. Once a month, we pay for someone's groceries. We wait until we see someone struggling. Emily's throat tightened. You started something that night, the mother continued. You reminded people that kindness still exists. At that exact moment, a stressed young father in line began counting coins nervously. The single mom looked at Emily. Emily smiled. Go ahead, she whispered. And just like that, the cycle began again. The cashier, same one from before, wiped her eyes. The whole store didn't cry because of sadness. They cried because they witnessed. Proof that one small act of kindness can echo far, beyond a single moment. And sometimes, all it takes is letting someone go first.